Hi, welcome to Let's Cook. You know, today on Let's Cook, we are doing 3 different cabbage salads today. Cabbage is really good for you. It's real healthy, and I'm going to tell you a few things about cabbage. The first thing we need to know about cabbage is it contains a chemical called hydrogen sulfide. This is pretty dormant in the cabbage until you decide or you start to cook it. This is where we have to get a little bit of balance. You have 2 options. Don't cook it or cook it. If you're going to cook it, make sure you get rid of that offensive odor and flavor that is so often associated with cabbage. Right here, the first salad that I'm going to make here it's a fried cabbage salad, and I have the ingredients right here where we have the cabbage, the apples, a little lemon juice there. We're using some ranch dressing. I have a trio of wurst as well, and I'm going to be using some knockwurst here, some salami, and some bologna in this salad. I'm going to actually fry the cabbage first. So let's just take this, put this over here, and I'm going to take my the cabbage right here. We'll get rid of the outer leaves here. I'm just using a plain white cabbage. We're going to cut this what we call chiffonade. So to cut this chiffonade, if I take the cabbage and I just cut it down this way, I'm going to have that broad piece of cabbage right there. I really don't want that. If you do that, take this and then cut it down so it's really a nice thin chiffonade. You see how nice and thin this is? Now we can avoid having to do that simply by going into the cabbage on an angle like this and cutting it down. And then we're going to end up with some really nice shredded cabbage, and it won't be too long either because we have to deep fry this and we don't want this to be too long. And so we're just shredding a little bit of cabbage there. That'll be enough for me to shred right now. Now, what I'm going to do with this cabbage is I'm simply going to take the cabbage here and I'm going to dip it in some Wondra flour here. The amount of moisture that is in the cabbage should be enough to allow the flour to stick to it. In the flour right here, I have a little bit of white pepper. I also have some cayenne pepper. We'll just take and mix this around to make sure that it's well mixed. I don't put any salt in this mix. I'll put some salt in on the cabbage after it comes out. So this is good. Now, take our cabbage here, just going to put it in the flour right here. All goes right in there. And again, you know, cabbage is, I think it's something you either like or don't like, but if you've had it and it's made well, you're really going to enjoy it. Let me just let that sit there in there for a second because I'm going to show you how we're going to cut the apples as well, because once I fry the cabbage, I have to really put everything together. So I have to make sure everything's ready to go. Okay, with our apples, we'll take the apple, we'll cut it down twice this way, bring this down, and then you'll notice when I take my knife and I cut it through here so it doesn't stick to it and come away, I'll put my finger right here and stop it from moving. Very safe way of doing it. And this way, I just cut the apple down this way, and it's almost as if I'm coring the apple. It is as if I'm coring the apple. It's just a square core when we're done. Then we'll take our little pieces like this, we'll line them up, and then with my knife, I'm just going to go like this and go all the way across them, making sure that I cut them into nice thin juliennes. Good. So now these are done. What I'm going to do with these right now, put them into a bowl, and very quickly, I'm going to take a little lemon here and just squeeze that lemon over top of the apples here. That way they won't brown up on us at all. So we have these all tossed in there. This way they won't oxidize. Antioxidants that are in the lemon prevent that from happening. Okay, now, next, we'll take a nice thin slice of bologna here. We'll take a nice thinner slice here on the salami because this is much harder to chew, so we'll take that. Then we have our knockwurst here, and my knockwurst, I'm actually just going to cut this on a nice bias right here. Great. So, the salami, we're just going to cut it very, very thin, just like this, real nice and thin. Nice little juliennes here. And then for my bologna, I'll show you, you know what I'll do? I'll do this in a paisan cut. Now, a paisan cut, this is a little thick for a paisan cut, and they should all be square, but you see this here? If you ever do a Scrabble cut like that, right there like that, that's a, what they call a paisan. It should be a flat square, but it should only be about 1/8 of an inch thick. So, in goes my wurst. So we've got our wurst in here. That's just our sausage. Use whatever sausage you like to use. Toss this around here a little bit. Good. Now we're ready to fry the cabbage. To fry the cabbage, we need to make sure that the oil is hot enough. I'm going to get a skewer. I just want to show you a little trick to test to make sure that the oil's hot enough. If you take a wooden skewer, and you don't have a thermometer at home, and if I take this skewer and I put it into the oil here, it should start to bubble right away. If it's not bubbling, then the oil's not hot enough. You see how it's just started? Can we get a close-up on that and actually see if it's bubbling? See how we get little bubbles coming out of it? It's not bubbling. It should be bubbling. Might be a very dry skewer. If that doesn't work, take a little piece of the cabbage and drop it in there. Does it start to cook right away? Okay, this oil actually, no, it's going to work. Let's just get this a little hotter. We need about a half a minute for this oil to come up in temperature, and I'm going to get another wooden skewer and show you that that actually works. A lot of times when we start the show, and we have oil that's heating up here, we'll turn it down because as we're getting ready, and that's actually what I did. So that was my fault. I turned the oil down. But see here? Yeah, there we go. We got little bubbles coming out of the skewer. Perfect. So now this oil is going to be hot enough. What I'm going to do is I'm going to drop my cabbage into the oil here. Let it start to cook almost as if I was making any fried item. It's going to get a little brown, making sure I shake off all that excess flour, and then it's also going to get nice and crispy. This will take about a minute to fry up, which is about how much time we need to take a little break. So let's take a little break, and then when we come back, we're going to finish our fried coleslaw here with the wurst, plus I'm going to make a sweet and sour coleslaw with another sausage. Don't go anywhere. It's Cabbage Patch Salads today on Let's Cook. We'll be right back. Hi, welcome back. Okay, our cabbage is done frying here. It's gotten nice and brown. We're going to remove it now while it's nice and crispy. And remember, this is a real fast process. And this salad is very nice if it's served a little warm there, but it's even better when it looks like this. Now, I have it in a bowl here with some paper towels here so that I can absorb it. It's very light. It's almost going to be like fried onions. It's really nice. This salad is more of the sausage than it is of the actual cabbage. To this now, we need to take this and season this with a little bit of salt and a little bit of pepper. Okay? Now, the way we're going to go ahead and finish this now is in my bowl here, I have the sausage with the apples that I already cut up. I'm just going to take a little bit of ranch dressing here and mix this together. Just a little bit of the ranch. Just about this much. Now, to finish this salad, come over here. We take our, I'm going to do it this way. This will look better. You can put this on top, but I'm going to put the wurst right here in the bottom with the apples. You know, the apples and the pork, they just kind of go together very well, especially with the ranch dressing. Then we'll just take our fried cabbage right here, put it right there in the middle. Again, make sure you drain it off well. Okay, doesn't that look good? Oh, fantastic. Okay, so there's our fried cabbage and wurst salad, or wurst trio. We'll put that over here. The next item we're going to make is we're making actually a sweet and sour coleslaw right here. But the first thing, I have a little bit of sausage here. And this is chorizo sausage that I'm going to use. And all I'm going to do with this is I'm going to take this and I'm going to actually saute this up while I make the salad. And we're going to actually toss this in the salad as well, more so than we did with the first salad there where we really never mixed them together. So, have my pan nice and hot here. A little bit of oil there in the bottom of the pan. Make sure it ripples the way that's rippling there. It's actually starting to smoke. I'll drop my sausage in there. Just going to start to saute this up a little bit. We really want to make sure that we get a little bit of color on this. Okay, good. Excellent. Now, what I'm going to do now is I'm going to go ahead and make my coleslaw here. This cabbage right here that I have right here, let me just get a plate to put this out on. Take a look at this cabbage right here. It's very crisp. What I did with this cabbage is I shredded it, and then I put it in water, cold water with sea salt. There was about, let's say, for every quart of water, about a quart of water here, I used about 4 tablespoons of salt. What that does is it really pulls out the moisture of the cabbage and it makes it nice and crisp this way. It's a great way to make coleslaw. Then I'll just take this out of here and I'll drain it very well. We need to make sure that we get rid of that salted water there, out of there, and drain it real well. So let's put that here. Great. Let this drain real well. You could use a salad spinner too if you wanted to. Okay. Okay, my sausage here are done. We'll shut these off. We'll get these out of the pan. Then we can make this other Cabbage Patch salad right here. So let's just get these out of the pan. Beautiful. There we go. Beautiful. Love that. Put that over here. Okay, so these are done. To make our dressing now, I'm going to use some sugar here. I'm using some vinegar. Need that vinegar. A little bit of oil. A little bit of sour cream here too. So this is going to make it nice and creamy here. It's going to have the sourness of the vinegar there. And if you wanted to, you could even add heat to this now in the form of cayenne pepper if you wanted to. Let's go ahead and taste this now. See how the dressing tastes. Delicious. Because you get the vinegar there, and then you also get the sweetness. You need to make sure that you really dissolve the sugar in that vinegar before you mix this in with the lettuce. Now the cabbage. I have my cabbage here. It's well drained. You need to make sure you well drain the cabbage. Take this. Notice how this cabbage stands up to the dressing now. See how nice that stands up? Beautiful. Now, my sausage has cooled down enough to a point right now where now I can go ahead and add my sausage back into this. So now we have our sausage. We just kind of toss this all together here. And again, this is where you're going to get a nice surprise where when you bite into this and you get a little piece of the sausage in this, and there's some heat in the sausage, it's going to be absolutely delicious. So this is now ready to plate up as well. This looks like a nice plate for this one. A little bit of this right here. Set this up right here. So, Cabbage Patch salads. They're cabbage. Great vegetable. Let me just tell you a little something else about the salad, about cabbage while I'm plating this up, because it has a tremendous history. Cabbage really does. You can, it was, who was it? In 1772, it was Captain Cook who actually ordered so much cabbage for his voyage in 1772 that he, out of 14 or 18 men, he only lost one person to scurvy. That was because of the vitamin C in the cabbage. So it has tremendous antioxidant properties. We're going to take a little break. And then when we come back, I'm going to make a warm coleslaw now, not fried, with some delicious pork tidbits. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back. Back to Let's Cook. Oh, a warm coleslaw with pork tidbits. I'm going to start to saute this, but I need to give you a little bit more trivia about cabbage and even sauerkraut. The term sauerkraut actually means sour cabbage. Let me tell you where it got its origins from. This is very cool. Genghis Khan, you know, the Mongol, when he conquered China, they had a cabbage dish that was pickled in wine. So then as he went west and he conquered part of Europe, took that recipe with him, and the Germans liked it so much, but they wanted to put it in a brine solution, so they started to substitute the wine solution to marinate the cabbage in for brine, hence sauerkraut. So Genghis Khan was actually the catalyst or the motion behind sauerkraut. Isn't that amazing? I knew you'd like that trivia. I'm warming my pan here because what I'm going to do now is I'm going to take and saute up some nice small diced pork loin that I have here. The pork that I have right here, I'm going to take this, a little bit of salt, a little bit of pepper. And we're simply going to take this now, drop this into our pan, and let this start to cook. We're just going to brown this off just a little bit, cooking it all the way through. because we need the flavor in the bottom of this pan to make our dressing. Because again, remember, this is a warm coleslaw or a warm salad. So let's get these, let them start to cook up here a little bit. Great. So while that's cooking, coming over here, I have some boiling water. There's salt in this water, making sure. A little bit more salt in there. You know, salt will bring out the flavor. Also neutralizes the acid that comes out of green vegetables when you cook them. We're going to drop our shredded cabbage in there. Let this start to cook a little bit. And now we're going to take this out warm because this is actually a warm salad that we're making. So we're actually blanching this now. That's good. Let that start to cook a little bit. Check out our pork over here. Make sure this is doing well. Okay, good. A little bit more heat on there. Now the other thing I'm going to do in this traditional coleslaw, let's use a little bit of shredded carrot in here. Let me see, here's my peeler. Just going to take this carrot. We need to make sure, and now by the way, when you're working with carrots, if you don't want to peel them and you just want to wash them, if you wash them very well, you're going to get extra nutrition out of that carrot because a lot of the vitamins are on the skin. So, here we are. So I got my carrots there. Get this out of the way here. Look at my cabbage now. This cabbage is now ready to come out. See that wonderful color that it has here? And it's just a little limp. So we're going to remove our cabbage out of the water right away now. Just kind of keep this warm. This is, you know, this is a salad that you could serve also as a vegetable or a side dish too. It doesn't necessarily, you could even make a meal out of this with the pork that's in there. Would also be nice if you wanted, put a little bit of apple in there too. So let's shut this off. Come back over to our pork very quickly here. Want to make sure that it doesn't burn. Okay, here we go. See how nice that looks? Good. Okay, this pork is almost done now. Take our carrots. Going to just, let me see, I haven't used a grater in a long time. Take this, we'll just grate a little bit of this carrot. We need to make sure that we have a little bit. While I'm grating this, let me just give you a little bit more trivia with that has to do with cabbage, okay? Cabbage, it's been known for years that if you want to cure varicose veins, if you make a poultice out of the cabbage and put it on the veins, it's very helpful. If you don't want to put it on the outside and you decide to eat it, it's so healthy due to its fiber content and antioxidant properties. It's very helpful in the prevention of certain gastrointestinal maladies. So cabbage is very good for you. Very, very good. Okay, enough carrot here now. So my carrot that I have right here, I'm just going to add to my coleslaw right here. This is more for color than anything else. Coming over here, I'm going to go ahead and remove my pork from the pan. Look at all that wonderful flavor I have in the bottom of the pan there. So let's just shut this off for a second. We'll remove this here. Getting all of this pork out. There we go. Now, let me show you how you make the dressing. Now, we're making a dressing here. We're using vinegar. We need to make sure that we maintain the integrity of that vinegar. We need that in the coleslaw. So, instead of putting my vinegar in here first, what I'm going to do is I'm going to put in a splash of water. Just enough to coat the bottom of the pan. What that will do is this will release all that flavor from the pork there and also give me enough liquid here to dissolve my sugar. So we'll just kind of mix this in there, get that totally dissolved. We need to make sure that we have no crystallization there. Then we're going to take this, and now we add our vinegar. We add our oil. We're going to season this with salt and pepper now. And this will be the, but I do have to strain this too. This will be the dressing for my warm coleslaw. Let me get my strainer set up. We're going to take a little break. When we come back, I'm going to strain this wonderful warm dressing over my coleslaw and mix it with the pork. It's definitely Cabbage Patch Salads today on Let's Cook. We'll be right back. Hi, welcome back to Cabbage Patch Salads. Now, in my bowl right here, I have the pork that we sauteed. To this pork now, I'm going to add the cabbage here that we blanched in the water, salted water. Then we have our warm dressing here that I'm just going to go ahead and strain right over the wilted lettuce there. We simply toss this together like this, and here's my warm cabbage salad or coleslaw with the pork tidbits. Let me take this. I'm going to take this, put this in a bowl right here. This is now good to go. I love cabbage. It's so good. It's so healthy for you today. We did our warm coleslaw right here. Additionally, we did the sweet and sour slaw here with the sausage. And last but not least, our fried cabbage with the wurst. Thank you so much for watching Let's Cook. You have a great day, and we'll see you next time. Bye-bye for now.